Hi, so today I'm going to showcase the Shad UI library and show you how you can use it in a Laravel application. If you're not familiar with Shad UI, it's basically just a component library that allows you to kind of install different things into your application, and you can kind of make them your own. It kind of copy pastes them into your repo, so all of these components that you have are 100% yours. Um, they make different versions of this, one for React, one for Vue. They might have one for Svelte. So chances are there's a UI library for your particular flavor of JavaScript. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first of all, I'm planning to do this in this video in 4 different steps. First, we're going to set up the Laravel application from this base repo that I created. There's nothing special about this repo except that it just has a couple of models that are already set up that we won't have to stub those things out in this video. Next, we're going to install the Shad UI library and then prove that it works. Third, we're going to install the form from Shad UI and then show you how you can use client-side validation to create a new item in the database. And then lastly, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of my next video. So let's get started. So first of all, we're going to come here and just clone this repository down. And that looks like the right command. Change directories, and we're going to install it. This is basic Laravel stuff. So when you start from a git clone situation like this, you've got to copy the env. So we'll do that real quick. And then we need to run the artisan key generate. And then artisan storage link and artisan migrate. And we'll just have it create an SQLite database for us. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the seeder. All right, we're done seeding, so now I'm just going to run herd link. And we should have our site set up here at budget.test. All right, so next we need to install Shadcn. So first thing we're going to need is Breeze. So I'm going to install that real quick. And we'll run this. I'm going to do the React version just because it's a bit, I just know it more, but you could do this in Vue as well. I'm going to use, it doesn't really matter, PHP unit for this just because I'm not going to write any tests in this particular video. Alright, so we successfully installed everything here. So if you come back to our site here, you should see we've got our login and our register. And if I use test.example.com, which is one of the users that I created in my seeder, you can see that we're logged in. Alright, so I'm going to install Shad UI now. We already did the step up here, so we're just going to ignore that. And we're going to run this. We are going to use TypeScript. Default's fine, Slate's fine. Now this is the first one that I'm going to copy paste here. I am going to use CSS variables, no prefix, that's fine. The alias is going to be at and then uppercase components. That one's fine. We're not using React server components, and it can write. Alright, so we're successfully installed. Now, one thing we do need to change on the tailwind config. It changes all these values here. So we need to go ahead and type in resources, and I'm just going to split them out so that it's easier for me to read. And then let's see, we also need JS, and then this is going to be TS and TSX. All right, let's run npm run dev again, and everything should at least not be broken. Okay, so let's go to button. We're going to install this one just to prove kind of that it works. So if we paste button in and then go back to our editor, we should be able to get into our dashboard and just do button, import the correct one, and say here's a button. And I'm going to run the server again here, and there's our button. So we know that it's working correctly now. So next we're going to install the Shad UI form, and then I'm going to show you how to get client-side validation set up. So one of the models that we have is a pretty simple one, and it's the category model. And it looks like I need to set up my fillable here real quick. All it has is a name, so this will be an easy one to kind of build out for ourselves. So first of all, let's install the form. Come down here, we'll add form like this. And I'm also going to add the card and input. So should be able to just say card and input. And if you notice, these are getting placed right here in this UI directory. So we've got form, input, label. Label is part of form, card, and then button. And if you open them up, this is just React code, so you can make any changes you want there to them. All right, so let's go back, jumping around a little bit here. The dashboard. I'm going to delete this whole section. And we're going to put in a card. We'll say card header, card title, and this is going to be create category, and then this will be card content. This will be where the form is, and then card footer. This could be where the button is. So actually, I'm gonna probably wrap most of this card with a form. So I'll say button type equals submit, and I'll put save form fields content, and let's see what that looks like. I have to restart my thing. Should be the last time I have to restart that, hopefully. Okay. So we've got some width issues here. I'll do max W screen small, MX auto, MY 12 or something. Okay. So now let's add our form, and I'm going to put it here for now. We want this one. And that reminded me, we do need to install Zod and React Hook Form, because we're going to need that here shortly. Okay. So up here, I'm going to say constant form equals use form. And I'm not going to accept the import here because for some reason this really wants to import the Inertia.js version. Yeah, see, it just did it there. But I want the one from React Hook Form. Okay. Now, just to be clear, I recommend doing this for most applications. So using form submission in Inertia. There's a form helper function that uses use form. So I recommend this for the most part. What's nice about the technique that I'm doing, or that I'm showing you here, is that this is all client-side validation. So I'm going to create a category schema. And this is going to be a Zod schema. If you're not familiar with Zod, it is kind of your friend when it comes to dealing with APIs in a React server. And I'm going to give this a min of 1 and say name is required. Okay, so we've got our schema. Now I'm going to say resolver is Zod resolver. And we're going to pass in the category schema. And then down here, we can say form. Just spread form over that, and that should make that happy. All right, now we need a regular form element. This is just an HTML form. Okay. And then let's build out the actual form here. So let's say form field, and that has two things, render and name required. So I'll put name first, and I'm going to say this is name, and then render, and this is actually going to be a function that takes a parameter field, and I'm going to say return form item, form label, this will just be name, form control, and then in here this will be an input, and we're going to do it from this one. I'm going to spread field out here, and then make sure I import form control, and then I'm going to say form message, and this will be for validation errors, and then I believe that's it. So we just need one of those. And do that, and we should be good. All right, so we got our field. On form, we need an on submit. And this will be form dot handle submit, and we'll pass it to a function submit. I think I forgot down here this needs to be controlled by form dot control. Okay. So now I need a new function up here, submit. So we'll take in values, and we're just going to console log them for now. Okay. Yeah, that's probably a TypeScript thing. Yeah, we'll handle that in a second. But we should be able to see our thing now. So let's take a look here. All right, so we got our form. If we save it, it is required. You'll notice it's not pulling our message in, and I think the reason for that is we're having an issue here. So if I say like, yeah, so as soon as I make changes, I get this warning. A component is changing an uncontrolled input to be controlled. So this is because I need to set a default value here. So you can set default values, and so I'll just say name is an empty string, and that should get rid of that. And then when I save, I get name is required, which is the same message that I set here. Okay, so our validation is working. And then if I submit, I'm getting my name here, so that is getting passed to my submit function here. So let's fix this TypeScript error. I should be able to say z.infer and then say type of category schema. And that should just be all I need. Okay. So now we need to actually handle this and submit it via inertia. So I'm going to create a new route here. I don't think I have a route for this. So I'm going to say route get, and I'll just say categories. And I'm just going to inline this for now because I don't feel like making a controller for this. We're going to need all this stuff. And I'll say categories.store. Okay. And I'm just going to say we do need request here. And I should be able to say basically category create request all. Let's see if I can simplify this. There we go. All right, and then turn redirect back. Okay. I'm not actually gonna post this to the screen or anything. We're just gonna see if it worked. But what you would essentially do is something like router, which should come in from that post. You could say route category store values. Okay. And let's see if that works. So first of all, let's open up my database here so that you guys believe me. Where's my data? There it is. I have a bunch of stuff in this thing. So hopefully it's not too distracting. So yeah, I've got 110 categories already. So let's refresh this real quick, and then I'll say Scooby-Doo. And it's not supported for route categories. So you probably saw that. Yep. Oops. That's what I get for copy pasting. Alright, refresh. Try this again. Oh, it needs user ID, so let's do that real quick. So we'll say basically auth user categories create request all. Fresh. One last Scooby-Doo. And I think we did it this time. So let's go and check it. And there's our Scooby-Doo, guys. Successful. Alright, so one thing you might be thinking now is, okay, this makes a lot of sense for things that are easy, but what about, let's say I wanted this category to be unique. So let's say that the name needs to be unique. How can you do client-side validation for something that needs to be unique? And the answer is you can't. So you have to actually hit the server, check if it's unique or not, and then decide. So in my next video, I am planning to show you how you can have validation, like regular request validate type things, and then redirect back and basically put those errors into your form element and render them on the page. And this is all still using the Shad UI library. So yeah, until next time.